Welcome back to Gotta Be Country Radio. We are here in Queen Creek, Arizona, with Robbie Hodges in his home here away from home. You are on the road so much.
I'm on the road about 340 days a year.
Yeah.
I have a nice farm in Alabama that I rent out to some people because it was no good for me, trying to maintain it. So I just decided to rent it out. I try to travel as much as possible. Once you get used to the traveling part of it, it's kind of hard to be stationary. Actually, when I'm on my off times, I like to go home and hang out with my kids. And I've got 3 wonderful kids, Reed, Carly, and Blake. And I like to be dad again. It's after being at the Wrangler National Finals, you've been to as far as you can go. And
right.
And
I know you were there 2 years, right?
1 year, and then 1 year as an alternate.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, 2011 I was the alternate. So I kind of changed my perspective on rodeo a little bit and decided to enjoy it more.
Yeah.
And as you know, we do. I've got a couple ventures going. Mainly playing with Luke Kaufman is one of my favorite things.
Which has been awesome because you go to the rodeos and then you're able to play guitar afterwards.
Gosh, it is so amazing to get to play with that guy. He's going like this. And
he is.
Taking me with him, actually. We played at Prada del Sol 2 nights.
Oh,
and
wow.
we're going to play in Beaumont here in a few weeks, in Giddings, Texas. And,
wow.
It's kind of neat to do after each rodeo.
Sure.
I mean, and it's...
Well, and you still definitely have a lot of energy left from your rodeos because you've got all that stuff going on, and it's hard to kind of come down.
Absolutely, it's really helped me. I just rodeoed myself to death for the last 15 years,
sure.
And now I'm at a point. Like I said, I enjoy it again, and working with, and especially Luke. Luke's actually probably saved my rodeo career because I was ready to go do something, and he said, why don't you play guitar for me? Because that's been a hobby of mine. For the last year and a half, it's been a whirlwind.
Sure.
We've had a ball.
Well, and I can't, walking in here the other day, and you were in here practicing and stuff. So
yeah, I do that
I mean, it's nice that you have the setup here in this to be able to do that also. And then, of course, last night there was a ton of people around your place here.
Yeah,
and,
we are kind of known for the after parties.
I would say.
Excuse me, but we are known for after parties.
Yeah.
That's what's so neat about I'm rocking Robbie 24/7. So a lot of guys, they choose when they get through the rodeo to just become a hermit. Not me. I want everybody. I want all my buddies. This is a celebration of a life.
Yes.
And it's my life. And I've got a wonderful girlfriend. I've got a great dog, Bullet.
Yeah.
He's running around.
Yeah, he's running around somewhere. He's been kind of in and out all over the place.
He does what he wants.
He does, yeah.
But Queen Creek Rodeo, I love coming out here to the turquoise circuit and doing their rodeos for them. The weather's great.
Weather has been amazing, especially me being a northerner. This is
awesome.
I could stay here all winter long.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to do in the morning is get up, have a cup of coffee. I'll get up, sit out under the awning for a little bit, grab my guitar, and I try to practice an hour and a half every day for Luke. I want to improve as he does, and he's given me such a chance. And his music takes such good care of itself. With his lyrics and his on-stage presence, so I get to be the filler.
That's cool.
It's not I don't have to carry it. Where
Sure.
some bands, the lead guitarist has to carry it.
True.
Very lucky, so I try to learn something every week. And like I said, he's so encouraging to play for. And I've got so many guys that help me. Bruce Smith, Sparky Mateka, Heath Wright from Ricochet's one of my best friends, and they've been just absolutely. Hugh Mitchell.
Sure.
These guys, and they've just done so much to help me because they know. Those guys are rodeo fans, and they know that I'm a music, lover, and they spend a lot of time helping me,
Sure.
and it means a lot, and I like to go. Sometimes on my cool down weeks, I'll go up and sit with Heath up in Bayonne, Oklahoma, his ranch.
Oh,
and,
neat.
Actually, me and Luke are going to go up there in a couple of weeks and just sit around and sit on the porch and pig.
And that's nice. And you've had such a career, and I'm looking over here on all these plaques on your wall and stuff for all the stuff that you've done throughout the years. How long have you been actually on the road rodeoing? I know you were a bareback rock rider prior to.
I was a bareback rider for 16 years. I quit in 2000, so this is my 15th year as a barrel man.
Wow.
That seems like a long time. and I kind of wanted to do that as I wanted to keep going in rodeo. And I
Sure.
thought, well, if I'll do 5 or 6 rodeos a year, you know,
Sure.
I'll be part of the rodeo, you know, and I
Yeah.
got to cut up and do. Had no idea that it was going to turn out like it did.
Yeah.
And then in 2005, I got my PRCA card, and just to do rodeos in Florida, and I thought, well, heck, I'll do a few down there. I got the market cornered. I'm near there.
Sure.
And doggone, here we are, 5 years later, you know,
Yeah.
national finals, and I love working the barrel. I think that's an absolute aspect of our business. So,
And I've heard a lot of compliments about you for packing that barrel.
well, thank
You know,
you.
there's a lot of them that don't seem to.
Well, you know, I think it's an insult to the old guys in our business, and you look back in the old books and stuff, and, you know, Jasbo Fulkerson, I hope I didn't say that right. Fulkerson! Meet the Fulkersons.
Meet the Fulkersons.
He invented the barrel, you know, and you've got guys, my gosh, there's so many of them, I don't want to miss any of them. I always do. One performance at the Wrangler National Finals, I actually wore a derby in honor of those guys, the old bowler.
That's cool.
Now I wear it all the time.
Sure.
Ted Kimsey, Quayle, Rudy Burns has probably been my biggest helper in my career packing the barrel. You know, all these guys, they're just, they're amazing in their skill of protecting the bullfighters. You know, nobody has, the bullfighter, when he gets knocked down, nobody's there to help him. So, and I've got a better perspective on all of it. That's the neat thing. I have such a hind catcher view of the entire playing field. So, you know, it's a respect that hopefully I've gained, you know, of knowing when I'm there, I'll go get those guys.
Sure.
You know? But
and then being able to engage the crowd too. I know the crowd was awesome last night. They were
sold
really
out.
responsive. Yeah, totally sold out. And man, there was a lot of people. We were set up, which mentions the other venture that you have going. You have your T-shirts.
You bet. I started Bad Clown Gear.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if we can see, but if you can show your tattoo on there
if
for a little bit closer.
Here's that is my
I don't
logo.
have as good a one.
That's the logo, and it's it was something I did when I got the national finals. I put my tattoo on it, and I thought that was a cool logo. And started selling T-shirts, Bad Clown Gear, and they have taken off.
They have. Oh my goodness! Last night was crazy.
I know it was. And it was so funny. The first time, you know, when I got them, and I decided I had no idea how to sell them. So, you know, when I called, I put on Facebook, and you were the first one to call and say, I can help you with this, and you've been wonderful with
Well,
it.
thank you.
I didn't know.
PayPal is great.
PayPal.
Go for PayPal.
Thank God for PayPal and Britt Pearson, because I was sitting at the airport actually going, oh my God, people are calling. What am I going to do with all these damn shirts?
Well, and they sold great here too. You know, the kids love them, and they love being able to meet you afterwards.
You bet.
And I know something like this, there's not always the autograph signings afterwards, since
No.
this is a big PRCA rodeo.
You know, and another thing that's done for me is helped me get back in touch with the fans. What other sport in America can you actually, after a ball game, you watch them go through the tunnel, you never see them again. You watch them perform. I want to be part of that. Gosh, I'm a life lover.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. You know, just like the other day with your dad. You know, took us, got to shoot the machine guns.
Of course, you know, it's always fun when there's machine guns involved.
What a testosterone boost. I'm like, so cool.
Look to find those on Pearson Guns. So.
You bet. Gary Pearson is awesome. He's our buddy. And he got to come, you know.
He did.
We got to show him our part of rodeo
right.
last night, you know. And that was so cool. Shoot a machine gun.
Well,
I bet you never got a date when you were...
I never did. Oh, I tell you what, it was so hard to get a date when I was in high school. Man.
Come on in here, son.
You know, I seen that one time somebody said that their dad threw a bullet at the kid when he walked in, and he said this goes a lot faster after 10 p.m. And I'm like, you know, I could totally see my dad doing that.
I use the old line, whatever you do to her, I'm doing to you.
Yeah,
so,
there you go. That works too.
You bet.
Oh, goodness.
But, you know, this life is, it can be tough sometimes, you know.
I can imagine.
And, I try to see things, you know, I try to go and do. We're so blessed at what we do. We were talking about this the other day, the things we get to do in this sport, you know. You can just rodeo yourself right out of this career, you know, riding or being a barrelman. But I choose to have fun with it, you know. I'm waiting on the next big adventure. Next week I'm going to, I leave here, I'm going to Luke Coughlin's actually getting married next week. Sorry, girls, but Luke's getting married next week, so I'm going to go to his wedding. I'm going to go hang out. You know, I was a former NASCAR hauler for Mike Wallace, and it's it's been a pretty extraordinary life for me.
I was
you
gonna
know?
say, you know, these little bits and pieces that I'm hearing here and there and stuff. I can only imagine if you actually had to write up a resume.
Oh,
You know.
A lot of people don't believe it, but it actually happens, you know. And sometimes
Yeah.
I have to go prove it. I've done
Yeah.
that a couple times in my NASCAR stuff, but you know, when I was a kid, I came from I don't want to call it a broken home because that sounds petty, but you know, my dad wasn't there,
Sure.
and it hurts me sometimes to not be there with my kids. But I call them every day, and,
Sure.
and my ex and I, Lynn, we actually get along very well. I actually stay on the farm when I'm down there
Oh,
because
that's
she wants
cool.
me to be their dad. And
Sure.
we made the choice when we split up. Let's don't affect the children,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
and it's so wonderful, and it's such a comfortable. I cook one night out of here, and
Yeah.
they come eat, you know, and it just works good.
Yeah.
And Krista's been wonderful with that because she knows the children are proud of her, and the children just love her.
That's
and it's
cool.
so great, you know. And they run barrels. My daughter does, and she's actually a 2D world champion.
Wow.
And in the MBHA, she
Very cool.
won that on her horse that 22-year-old horse. By the way.
Wow.
Yeah. And
See, I always say the older horses are the better horses.
they really are. They take care of the kids.
They
and,
do. They got those hours on them.
You bet. But you know.